Welcome to the Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce Let's Talk Business podcast. Today, I have the privilege of sitting at the table with what?
Man, this ain't no privilege. What you talking about? It's my privilege.
Howard Johnson. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing all right for a Friday, a rainy,
Yeah.
cold Friday. What
It
happened?
is. It just totally changed. Like, I walked out this morning, I had on my short sleeve shirt. I said, oh, wait a minute, let me turn
Hey.
around. I need to go get a jacket.
I did the same thing. I need a jacket, people. It's kind of cool outside.
Okay, but really, we telling on each other because I don't check the weather.
I know, I don't watch the news. Oh man, that's horrible.
I work in construction and I still don't check the weather. I'll be talking to my clients. They'll be like, "Oh, I want to get the house painted. All right, we'll do it tomorrow. Oh, it's supposed to rain tomorrow." I was like, "Oh, I ain't looked at the weather. Let me look at the weather. I'll call you back."
Let me evaluate this.
Yeah, I'll call you back.
Well, good morning, Howard.
Good morning. It is a good morning.
Yes.
It's a great morning.
Before we get started, we're going to go ahead and thank our sponsors. Southwest Airlines is a proud air travel sponsor of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce.
Woohoo!
And we also would like to thank Primacor Business Solutions.
Yes.
All right, Howard, you're no stranger to this, so let everybody know how to find you and what you do.
I can't be found. No, I'm just kidding.
It is true. Now, sometimes you can't
I'm
be
easy
found.
to find. I'm easy to find.
707.
707 Management LLC. I do a lot of different stuff, and but for the most part, I'm in construction. I do
You're fine.
commercial, residential, new build, remodel, and I'm glad to say this. I really haven't been searching out any new clients.
How awesome is that?
It's great because I do it for myself. I'm the end user. That was one of the goals for my business, is for me to become the end user. I wanted to, initially when I started, I would take any and every job.
Mm-hmm.
And now I get to pick and choose. Like, I turn down more work than I take now. And that's not me bragging. Don't get me wrong.
No.
I appreciate every customer that comes to me and asks me to do work for them. But I get to choose who I work for,
Yes.
which is, it's amazing to be in that position in the construction industry, because sometimes it's hard if you have a hard client or you have a hard
Yeah.
customer. And I really get to choose who I work for, which is great for me. And that's really good because I get to purchase the house, remodel the house, and then I sell the house, and then I keep all the profit. Whereas it was somebody else purchasing the house, they calling me, I give them a bid, and they accept the bid. I do the work, I get paid for the work, and that's it.
Right.
And then I'm looking on the back end of the sale, and they're making 20,000-30,000 off the sale. I'm like, yeah, I got to get my business to where I'm purchasing my own stuff, building my own stuff, and I even got kind of backed away from doing the remodel side of it. I still do that
Mhm.
work, but I get to pick and choose, who I do it for, it's a great thing in business. And I'm really in a great position. God has put me in a great position to be able to do that. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, I'm thankful for you too. But and every time I sit down with you, I actually learn something new, and I'm just like, wait a second. Okay, so I'm glad we're having this conversation. Because last time I sat down with you, I learned I was unemployable.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, okay, that explains that.
Yeah.
But now this time I'm like, okay, so I like your words. And
Which
you're
one?
big on words,
Which
right?
one? I say a bunch of words. I
I
can talk.
know.
I can talk.
The thing I like, you were like, I pick and choose.
I'm
What
sorry.
did you do?
I'm sorry.
I pick and choose who I work for,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the one thing about that is that a lot of people don't understand that. You own your own business, but understand that you're not an island.
No.
So you have to, the people that you work with, you ultimately end up having to work for, because you're working for them to pay you, right?
Exactly.
And
So,
I was like,
yeah.
so that's the same difference as let me talk to you
Mhm.
or let me talk with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one word makes a significant difference.
So when you're talking to somebody, that means it's a one-way conversation.
Yes.
When you're talking with them, y'all conversing back and forth. Yeah, that's a great point, Tabitha. I mean, my mentality is a part of my character. So I say things sometimes, and I say them because it's who I am, and it's not that I'm trying to get a point across or convey something or be super deep. I'm just talking about me from the heart. So working for somebody is exactly that. You
Yeah.
own your business, but your customers are, they're number one. They're numero uno. That's who
Yeah.
you have to take care of. I have one client that I still kept, and I laughed with her yesterday. She didn't make me mad. She just, because I rarely get mad, but she was, just pestering. Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, and you did this, and you did that, and you did this, and you did that. And so she got me to the point where I was like, okay, if I don't nip this in the bud right now, it's gonna continue to go on. I said, listen, man, I don't care what you do. You can go kick rocks if you want to. I said, I'm not worried about it. I said, but you gonna leave me alone today. She was like, she had never heard me say that, even in listening to me talk to other people. She's never heard that. So she was like, oh my gosh, you can't talk to me like that. I'm your client. I was like, you weren't my client a few minutes ago when you was trying to cuss me out about something I had nothing to do with. That was your decision to paint that color. You didn't even ask me to paint it. So, yeah, but, and I laughed. We laughed about it yesterday, but it was funny.
It is. It's funny. And so even for my business, keeping your kids safe. So
Oh, yeah.
we help kids go home the way the parents intended.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, here's the thing, and that's why I like talking to you, because it's like one of those things. Here, my end user, the one that benefits the most from it, is normally the child.
Yeah.
But they don't have no money.
No, not a nickel.
Not a nickel. And the dimes that they do have go to candy.
Yeah.
But in those games. But the thing about it is that because they are my client and my numero uno,
Mm-hmm.
I work for them, but I actually, we actually bring our riders along, which is our parents and our administrators and stuff like that, in order, because they're the ones that are going to flip the bill.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, they're the ones that benefit the biggest because they get to keep their jobs and add some more time behind it. So I think that that's really cool. All right, so we have a lot going on. What do you do for the chamber? Tell those people what you do for the chamber.
Well, man, at this particular time, I'm the vice president. I sit directly under the president, which is Miss Leandria Thompson. Big kudos to her. We wouldn't have the avenue that we have. We wouldn't have the street to go down that we have to go down, the connections or the information that we have without Miss Thompson. She had a vision almost 16 years ago.
Yeah.
16 years ago, she had a vision, and she sat down and she put it into play. She made a bunch of sacrifices, in business and personally, to make sure that this chamber is in the position it's in. It's still here. It's going strong. It's growing. The 7 years that I've been here, or 8 years, the 8 years I've been here,
Cool.
I've seen the chamber just grow and grow and grow and grow. We went from 2 regions to, we went from 3 counties. That's why it's Tri-County, to adding 6 counties. It's still 3 in Region 2. So each region has 3 counties in it. So, and now we're at 4, and it's amazing to sit back and look at it. And sometimes you take that for granted. You don't take time to sit back and, as they say, smell
the roses.
Yeah. So to take a step back and really look back and say, man, this is where we were at. It gives you perspective as to what the possibilities for the future are.
How cool is that? So here's the thing. I didn't even realize you were here 8 years, right? And so you've seen the significant growth.
Oh, yeah.
And so you weren't there at the very beginning, but you came in at a time in which, when that growth happened, you can actually turn around and see how far the chamber has come.
Yeah.
So for all of those like myself who would not have known how challenging that was, there were things that you guys had to overcome in order to continue to grow. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I'll tell you about my experience with the chamber.
Yes.
Well, first let me finish. I'm the vice president right under Miss Leandria. I help if you have a meeting going on or you have something going on, you're a member of the chamber. I try to make it out to all the meetings. I try to make it out to support. There are vice presidents that are over regions, Region 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are 2 vice presidents for Region 1 because that includes Harris County, which is the largest county in Texas. They have 2 vice presidents. Region 2 has a vice president. Region 3 and Region 4, they all have vice presidents. And when those vice presidents have events, I make sure that I'm trying to be there, or I'm coming to not only support them but to help them if they need help setting up, if they need, whatever they need from me, if they need me to talk to people who are coming in that's thinking about being members, so I'm a support team is really
Awesome.
what I am, and I'm 100% pro chamber. So
Pro chamber.
like I have a friend, and somebody else was coming to tell me something bad about my friend. I said, no, 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 no. Let me tell you something. Whenever you're saying that they're wrong, it's never them. It's always you. So that's how I am with the chambers. When somebody come and say, "Oh, the chamber did this," blah blah blah, Miss Thompson, did, you can't talk to me about them. They always gonna be right when you running up on me. So I'm very
so
pro
that's
chamber.
That's a really good approach.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I might have to adopt that.
yeah, because I mean, it just really what I'm doing is I'm shutting down the negativity.
Right.
Because if you can't come and say, "Hey, listen, I had an issue. I'm not mad, but I would like to discuss it," then we can talk. But let me tell you about your people. No,
Yes,
no, no.
trying to turn you,
I don't wanna
trying
hear
to
it.
shift you
Yeah.
away from
Yeah.
what you know to be okay and solid for you.
Exactly.
And I believe that everyone's experience is their own, but I do believe that you trying to come and taint someone else's experience with your negative experience and not telling the full truth is
Yeah.
actually problematic.
Well, I asked 2 questions. My first question is this: have you talked to that person about it? And if they haven't talked to the person they have an issue with, I definitely don't want to hear anymore. I definitely listen. Hey, that's my okay. So here's something for everybody that's listening today. If you have an issue with someone, talk to that person directly.
Absolutely.
Don't go around them. Don't go tell their friends. Don't go tell somebody who's going to get it back to them. Just go talk to them. And if you guys can't resolve it, then go talk about them to everybody. No, I'm just kidding. I said, but if you guys can't resolve it, just leave it alone. I mean, not to quote the Bible, but the Bible says if you wake up and you're going to ask God for forgiveness and you've wronged a brother, go talk to that brother.
Yes.
And it's a period after that. Once you go talk to that brother, it's up to them to receive it or reject it. And whichever choice they make, that's still the choice they make. You've done what you're supposed to do.
Correct.
And lose all the guilt about it.
Yeah.
Just lose it.
I do believe that because I think that, I mean, even for me, I've had certain incidents since then. And I was like, and some of them I was like, I remember this one guy, he's like, "Oh, just be honest with me." Well, when I was honest with him, he couldn't handle it. And he like lashed out at me. And then when I came back at him, I was like, "No, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure I pay you, and this is an unacceptable thing. And let's list all the things you did wrong, and then you can discuss the one thing I didn't do."
Exactly.
And then he's like, I said, "I can't do this anymore." And then he went and tried to burn bridges somewhere else. And I had already had a conversation with him, but he became malicious in his engagement. And I was like, why would you do that?
I mean, people are like that. Like, I mean, okay, I won't say people. I'll talk about me. I'll just talk about me. I don't like to put other people's. I don't like to give other people's. I don't like to give other people a title. So I'll talk about me.
Okay.
There are some times when I am out of character, and in those times that I am out of character, I take a step back and say to myself, "Why are you acting like this? Why did you do this? What pushed you to do this?" And there are some times where I have to apologize to people. Now, I'm not apologizing for what I've done because I mean what I say, and I say what I mean, and I mean what I say.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say something to a person, I meant that. It's not, "Oh, I was just kidding."
Right.
"Oh, that, oh, I'm just kidding" means, "Oh, I really didn't want you to know how I really felt or what I thought." So I will apologize to a person for how I made them feel.
Right.
And if I hurt someone's feelings by how I reacted or how I said something, my reaction and my behavior is mine. I'm entitled to that.
Right.
But the effects of it is what needs to be rectified.
Yes.
So I will always apologize if I'm wrong. Even it could be, I don't know how long. It could be whenever. If I think about it, like I had a guy I did business with, and this guy got mad at me because I didn't pay him when I said I was, and that was 100% my fault.
Yes.
So he got on Facebook and put it on Facebook and did all this stuff. And I called him. I was like, "Say, excuse me, I get.
I know, right?
I'm like, say, bro, how you gonna blast me on Facebook?" I said, "What you think that's gonna get you paid? Because you went on Facebook and put it out there?" I was like, "Nah." I said, "All you had to do was pick up the phone and call me." I said, and this is how I know how far I've came. I was having some hard times, so and it was $300-$400. I was like, "You tripping over $400 and you got a $100,000 business, $800,000 business?" It wasn't that. I was wrong because he trusted me to pay him, and I didn't pay him. And I paid him. I paid him eventually, but we hadn't spoke since then. And that was probably 5 or 6 years ago. Nah, it was longer than that. It was about 9 years ago, maybe. And so I rode past the business. I was like, "Oh my God, you know what? I never apologized to Miles for what happened." So I picked up the phone and called him. I said, "Hey man, this is Howard Johnson." He was like, "Yeah, I remember you." I said, "Miles, look, man, I never apologized to you for disrespecting our friendship, disrespecting our business relationship, man. And I just wanted to call and apologize to you."
Yeah.
He said, "What? Man, ain't nobody ever did that." I was like, "Well, I know it's been a long time, and it might be, it's long overdue, and it might not mean nothing to you, but I'm not clearing my conscience or clearing my plate. I'm just doing what's right."
Right.
I said, "I feel like you deserve an apology for the way I handle our business relationship and our friendship." He was like, "Man," he was like, "I don't even know what to say, bro. I'm like at a loss of words." He was like, "You absolutely made my day." I was like, "What?"
Yes.
It's like, and I mean, it's just, so, I'm man enough to apologize if I've done somebody wrong.
Customer service is a big thing.
Super, super big.
And I think that being willing, oh my gosh, that's why I got this water, right? Being willing to admit when you're wrong, or being willing to see the situation from somebody else's perspective is super huge. And when we're able to do that, we actually put ourselves in a different type of a situation. And I'm glad we're having this conversation, because I think a lot of times this customer service thing, I don't think that people really have wrapped their head around what that looks like. Nope. You can blast somebody on Facebook all day long, and you can bring down their reviews and do harm, but you're actually doing harm to yourself, because until you step to that person, they say, "No, I'm absolutely not going to do," or, "Oh, I'm not accepting responsibility for that." You just you have no clue what someone else is dealing with.
Exactly.
So everybody's four walls are different. And what anybody is dealing with inside their four walls impacts how they can engage outside of their four walls. And so had he said, "Hey, are you able to pay?" or "You promised you would pay on this day.
What's up?
I didn't get that." They may have been able to find out what was going on with you, and then like, "Let me give you a concession because you're dealing with something that I've been through before." But instead, it becomes that reactive thing, was let me let everybody see how bad of a person you are. But meanwhile, like, somebody had done that to me just recently, and they were like, "Well, we're going to close this out because you didn't contact us, blah, blah, blah." I said, "My apologies. I haven't been near my email. My cousin just killed himself." You know what I mean? But the point is that he was like, "Oh my gosh." And I said, "Because you didn't ask. The first thing you assumed was that I just blew you off." So I have gotten to the point where I have said, for when people don't call me back, something else has happened. That's not me. So if people don't pay me one time, that's not me. That's something has happened. So I have to, so I don't take it on as, "Oh, they don't want to pay me," or "They don't want to do right by me." It is something else is going on that I'm unaware of. That's causing them to delay whatever engagement we've had, or agreement we've had.
Even though the fact that they don't want to pay you could absolutely be true, but you want to give them the opportunity to say that, and give people the opportunity to either say or show you that they don't want to pay you.
Yes.
Like with him, it wasn't that I didn't want to pay him. It's just that at that particular time I couldn't. But as soon as I could, it was he was the first person I went to see. And I mean, I didn't get to see him. I saw the secretary and paid it, He didn't want to talk to me no more because
he was in his feelings.
Yeah.
And he had every right to be in his feelings.
At that particular juncture, he did.
Yep.
And like I said, I was wrong. I told that man I was going to pay him, and I didn't.
Right. And that's super.
And I did not pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I can't pay you today. Let me get back to you."
I think you might have been hiding underneath the bed talking about, Lord, if he's just the only one that comes knocking, we'll be okay.
No, and he was really the only person. Like, I don't take on if I can't repay a debt, I don't take on a debt.
Right.
I don't do it.
Yeah, it's a good lesson.
Big believer. I drive a 2001 GMC because I don't want a truck note, and it's not that I can't pay it. I very well can pay it now, but I just don't want the truck note.
Look, you're smart. My mom's like, I'll take that car. I don't want any payment. I'm good to go.
Yeah,
we're good to go.
So if you think about it on the economic side of it, if you pay a $400 car note, we'll say $5 now every month,
that's a lot of money.
You get to the 10th month, you're at $5,000, and you get to the 12th month, you're at $6,000. So if you find you a cash car, and you pay less than $6,000 for it, and it lasts you a year, then you're beating the odds on a car note. So any car that lasts you more than a year, after that year, it's paid for itself.
So that's I'm telling you, this is insightful always. But that thought process is actually good for any business owner who is going into business for themselves anyway.
Every business owner.
So if you look at it, a lot of the things that we need in our business, if we figure out how to get enough money to just it almost feels like patchwork. Mm-hmm. But if you can patch it until you no longer have to evaluate the patchwork, mm-hmm. then your business, that's another way to bootstrap your way through whatever to that euphoria, to that place where you're like, okay, I don't have to worry about this anymore. I can go and patch something else through.
Yeah. And for me, it was a way to, it was a way to quit exceeding, or it was a way to cut my overhead.
Right.
So if I'm paying, and I'll be honest, like I went and got a brand new truck. It had maybe 2,000 miles on it when I bought it. And I was paying $600 and something a month for that truck. And that was before I started driving it. And then that didn't include insurance and gas. So I'm at $1,000 before I even turned the key on, mm-hmm. every month on that truck. I'm like, okay, $1,000 every month. I'm pretty sure anybody that's listening to this podcast can take an extra $12,000 a year and mm-hmm. do something else with it that will generate the money. $12,000 a year. If at the end of the year somebody said, here's $12,000 for you to generate money for your business, I'm pretty sure you can.
I know exactly where to place it.
Exactly. So you that
exactly.
and that's what you look at when you go and get overhead for your business, like truck notes and things of that nature. And I'm not telling anybody how to run their business.
No.
But when I got to the point where I could go on the lot and get anything I wanted and it wouldn't affect my overhead, it's still $12,000 a year, but my business is making enough money to where it doesn't matter, and I could write it off. I still kept my 2001 GMC.
You're like, I'm done. I'm just going to hold on to that. And that's really important, though, because a lot of people, I think these type of conversations need to be had for all new business owners, right? And so some of these conversations need to be had with someone that is in a position, either they're going in the direction that you're going and they're ahead of you, about 5 paces ahead of you, or someone who has already achieved their goals, mm-hmm. and then you sit down and talk to them. Yep. And you ask them different questions. You ask them questions about their early years. You don't ask them about current.
Yeah.
Current is not where you are. Mm-mm. Where they were is where you are. Yep. So ask them the questions about what happened at the beginning, mm-hmm. or what happened in the place to actually set you up, or whoever that mentor is going to be. Because I have found most of the answers that I'm looking for, no one ever talks about. Mm-hmm. They only talk about the nice things, the good things, the ones that are like make you look like gold, man. You're like, oh, I'm good, I made it.
I tell people all the time, when okay, let's say you're in a relationship and you're talking to somebody else that's not in that relationship, mm-hmm. and they're pacifying your feelings, and you're telling them all the bad stuff that's going on in your relationship, and that person asks you this question, well, when are you leaving? And you're like, oh, I'm not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. That's only because you haven't told them that there's good in my relationship.
Yes.
You haven't told them any of the good. You're only telling them that 15, 20%, maybe if you're in a bad relationship, 25%, 30% that's negative about that particular person.
Right.
So I tell people all the time, hey, listen, if you ever hear me say something negative about something and I'm still there, it's some good there. It's more good than it is negative.
Yes.
You know, and they say it takes 21 positive inputs to delete one negative, or to equal up to one negative input.
It is, because
So-
the rules are, so people all the time, so for every one bad experience you have, you will repeat it 10 times. For every one good experience you have, you will only repeat it 3.
Exactly.
That is the reason why everything is tilted so far to the negative. So, but when it comes to business owners, like, I'm not going to mention any business owners because they didn't pay for any sponsorships. But some of the larger names out there, the way that they got started, they show you, this is what we look like in our garage, right? But then this is where they are today.
Yep.
But they forget about everything in between, because that garage set them up. But there was a lot of
Work.
things that had to happen in that garage in order to get them to where they are today.
A lot of
But they
sleepless nights.
don't talk about it.
A lot of crying, a lot of
Right.
fighting, a lot of, missing meals. I mean,
You say missing meals.
Hey.
Well, guess what? Because come tomorrow, we have a
Exactly.
meet and greet for Berganic Hub,
Yeah,
right?
and this is for the members. The members get the ticket, right?
Right. The members get a ticket, so when you come in, you can, any member of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce can come in and say, hey, I'm a member, and you get a ticket to win.
Oh, the one-way ticket to for Southwest Airlines. Anywhere that Southwest flies, you can get a one-way ticket. If you're a member, and if you're not a member, that doesn't exclude you from coming out. You actually can come out and become a member right on the spot.
Yeah, I know. We can.
And I mean, it's an event. It's a meet and greet, a meetup. It's a meetup for Chambers members. The owner of the restaurant is actually a member of the Chamber as well. And we're just doing a member meetup. But even if you're not a member, you're welcome to come out. It has the address and everything on it?
Yes, so the address is 2721 Chimney Rock Road, Houston, 77056. So just keep in mind, that's tomorrow between 11 and 2.
Yep.
And that's Berganic Hub. And so I think what this is vegan.
Yeah, I think so. I
think this is a lot of vegan food. So any of you vegans or want to try something that's great, tasty, go ahead, head over the 2721 Chimney Rock Road in Houston, Texas, 77056, 11 to 2 for a meetup with Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. Woohoo! Oh, and you get to meet Howard.
It's a lot of people that's not gonna show up. Man. It was like that guy was on there talking about being mean to people.
It's like, we're not going to do that any longer.
Yes,
But
I was.
We have a lot of stuff going on, right?
Yeah, we got a bunch of events coming up.
So I figure let's go ahead and have that conversation.
Yeah, let's talk about them.
So we have a meet and greet for Regent 1. So that info. So what is that?
No, that's Region 2. That's Region 2.
Wait.
Fort Bend.
Oh,
Fort
he did.
Bend.
He changed the date. Okay,
Yeah.
so there we go. So we have tomorrow is a meetup. The 24th is Regent 2, Fort Bend. That is a meet and greet.
You get to meet the new vice president, the board members, and the new programs that we're getting members to the money.
Right, and that's going to be with Oliver and Cuckoo. So come on out there and check the website, tcbcc.org, and go to events, all events, and you'll be able to identify and find all of the events we're going to talk about now.
Yep, and that one's from 3 to 5 p.m.
3 to 5.
It's the Holiday Inn, Houston, Southwestern Sugarland. It's a Saturday, October the 24th from 3 to 5. It's a meet and greet. And it's for Region 2, which includes Fort Bend County, and the new Vice President, Oliver. I never say his last name because it's...
in Cuckoo.
Yeah,
so,
in Cuckoo.
so then for that one is going to be in Fort Bend. So then the next one is for Brazoria County.
Yep.
And that is going to be October 31st, Halloween.
Yep.
So, so there's a couple things that are going on. I guess for Halloween, the opportunity for, I don't know how trick-or-treating is going to go for most people or anything like that. But I guess there may be some type of talks about Halloween makeup.
Yeah, we were talking about because it's 1 to 3, I think.
It's 1 to 3.
We were trying to do an adult thing, where we were gonna do the best costume and give a prize for it, but I don't think we're gonna do that because it's gonna be so early in the day. I don't think a lot of people will have time to get, to take their lunch break from work and get dressed up and then come over and then have to pull all their makeup and costumes off to go back to work.
You're funny. Oh my
No,
god.
I'm just kidding.
Some people actually they just
Yeah.
really come with their costumes.
Yeah.
Don't worry. But actually the 31st is a Saturday though.
Yeah, it's a Saturday.
So anybody
Oh yeah, they won't even be at work.
No, it won't be at work. So that's why. So 31st is a Saturday. So hey, anybody who's listening, tell a friend. If you are interested, go ahead and bring out makeup and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Just go
Bring
ahead
your
and do it.
costume. Come
I
in
don't
your
know about no
costume.
costume. Okay, that's scary to me. No, I'm just joking.
Well, I mean, that's the nice way to say it, putting on makeup. I mean, it's pretty much a costume.
Yeah, I know. It's got to do it. But here's the thing: the great thing about these partnerships and the fact that we work with all the chamber members is that there is going to be a live broadcast for GMTRadio.com.
Yes.
They're going to be out there for Fort Bend on the 24th. So he gets to come and there's lots of great prizes. There are door prizes in every single meet and greet
Yeah.
event that the Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce is actually hosting. And then GMT Radio is going to come out and do live broadcasting.
Yeah, on the 24th.
On
they're
the
gonna be out there.
24th.
Yep, that's going to be real cool. So, GMT Radio, www.gmtradio.com. Man, the guy who runs this place is super cool, dude.
Fire.
And I don't blow no smoke, so.
That's good. I've been working with him for a while.
Yeah, he's cool, man. He's encouraging in all the right with all the right aspects. Because he was like, man, Howard, you need to be on the radio more. I was like, do I? Like, for real?
For
Like,
real?
I did good. And then, like, people who've listened to the podcast that I've been on, where we've been on together, was like, man, y'all really sound good on there together, man. You need to do more shows. So, hey, he got an ear for for who needs to be on the radio.
So it's a very good.
Big shout out to Nice. Thanks for everything.
Shout out to Nice. Because I tell you, so anybody who wants to do podcasts, radio or TV, they can go over to gmtradio.com and then check it out and make it. Do the contact us. Let him talk to you. Figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it, because he can see things that you would not have normally seen.
Exactly.
And I think that if you're not in the space, you will not understand the space. So you have to get people who can fill that bridge for you, and he's one of them. So I think that's great. So make sure to register for the event for October 24th and October 31st, because we're going to go ahead and he's going to come out and do live broadcasting.
Go on our website, www.tcbcc.org, and click on events. You can click right on that event, and right when you click on the event, you should be able to register. It's a spot down at the bottom that says "Count Me In." You click on "Count Me In,"
Oh, nice.
and it tells you, it says "I'll be there." And you pick how many people are coming with you, and put your name, address, company name, and email in there, phone number, and then click on it, and it will register you right then and there. So. Again, on our website, www.tcbcc.org, and click on the events and go to that particular event. And at the bottom of that event, click Count Me In. And the rest is self-explanatory.
Yeah, we'll be all right. All right, so cool, that one. And so now we're in November. So November 14th, we have an inauguration and a regional opportunity forum in Jasper. Okay, so Jasper. It is for Region 4, but it is in Jasper.
Jasper is a part of Region 4.
Yes, Jasper. So Region 4 is Jasper, Harding, and Newton. And so they are actually having that inauguration at the
Nehemiah Family Life Center. It's 640 Pollard Street in Jasper, Texas, and it's from 10:30 to 2 p.m. November the 14th.
So now mark your calendars and block that time out. And go ahead and register for that event. There's going to be a lot of people out there. There's going to she was on the show before, actually a couple weeks ago, and talked about the flag and the different representatives that are going to be there. There's going to be a lot of opportunity.
A few of the local judges in Jasper. It's a bunch of people that are going to be there.
So these are events that you really, really, really want to be in. If
Yeah.
you have started a business and you're trying to connect with certain people, because remember, when the right connection matters, connect to the right network. But the opportunity is for you to go out and meet those people or speak to those people are there, because if the representatives are there and if you're trying to do business and you're trying to do business with them, now is an opportunity to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one becomes November 21st.
That's the Montgomery
County. Yep.
Montgomery County, yeah.
That's Region 1 with Bishop Lloyd Jernigan. Now, we talked to him last week.
Yeah, I think he was here for the podcast. Yep, I spoke with him. He was. I spoke with him Thursday. He was coming over to do the podcast here. So yeah, Bishop Lloyd Jernigan. We have the event. Venue is still to be announced. We haven't selected a venue for that yet, but that's November the 21st.
Right. So, wow, we got a lot going on here. Mm-hmm. So that's tomorrow. We have October 24th. We have October 31st. We have November 14th, and now we have November 21st.
Yeah. So.
And then we have live broadcasting that coming in. There are door prizes at every single event.
Every single event has door prizes, and that's what I was going to touch on. Like, there's so much stuff to give away. Like, we give away and give away and give away. And depending on the amount of people at the events, we try to make sure that everybody gets something. Now, I'm not promising that everybody's going to get something.
Yeah,
so
don't promise, because they held
Don't call here and say, well, Howard said everybody's going to get something. No, that's not what I said.
Howard threw my ticket on the floor. He was like, you don't get this.
Yeah. She was like, what's the ticket number? I said,
not yours.
Not yours. Yeah,
not yours.
I give Tabitha a hard time, but I love her. Yeah.
It's funny.
And so if you're listening to this podcast and you are not a member, let me tell you what our mission statement is.
First, I want to know why. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, for real. But, here at Tri-County, we're committed to acquiring and disseminating valuable business information, resources, and tools for member firms to achieve entrepreneurial parity and economic prosperity in the region and internationally. So what that simply means is we do a lot of research to get information that will help small businesses compete. Entrepreneurial parity, that means you're an entrepreneur who is leveling the playing field.
Yes.
So we help you compete. So we not only get information, but we get resources and we get tools. So no matter what business you're in, no matter what you're trying to do, if you're black and you have a small business, you need to be a member of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce.
That I agree with. But let me point out something I don't know if you recognize. Okay, so this is the thing. So I asked, why are you not a member?
Yeah.
So let me give you an example as to why I say this.
Uh-huh.
So Howard, you talked about the fact that 9 years ago you were having a little bit of a struggle.
Oh yeah, right? I did.
But you also said in the same time frame, 8 years ago, you've been with the chamber for 8 years, and now you no longer have that as an issue.
So what I'll talk about
So what are we saying, Howard?
What I'll talk about this. Okay, so I'll tell you why I became a member. The funny story is the guy who introduced me to the Chambers is no longer with the Chambers anymore. We don't say names on here, but his name is I'm just kidding. No, but he's no longer with the Chambers anymore. But he told me, he was like, man, I'm with this Chambers, man. They doing big things, blah 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 blah. And right about that time, so the 9 years that I owed the guy, I went ahead and paid him. I got a really, really good contract, had my business set up and everything. And I was in business. I was doing business. I had a construction company forever, but I set up a project management company. And I was just really fly by night. I had a DBA, and then I went and I got my my letter of formation from the state. But that was it. I didn't have any operation agreements. I didn't have my certificates, my stock certificates, none of that stuff. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a stamp. I didn't have an emboss. I didn't have anything. So me and my buddy, he was like, man, we finna do this big thing in Belize, man, with the Chambers. I'm with the Chambers. Miss Thompson, we going to Belize, man. You want to go? I was like, no. Then he was like, well, we finna make a whole bunch of money. We finna do this, do this. So I was like, you know what? I want to go to Belize, so this is an opportunity for me to go to Belize. So I was going on vacation. I wasn't even tripping. I was like, man, I got big money stacked up. I ain't worried about nothing else. Let's go. So we went and I met Miss Leandria, and she started talking to me about business and stuff. I was like, well, I don't have all that. I just got my LLC, but that's really it. And then we started talking about your governing agent, who's the agent that gets contact whenever you get sued.
Your registered agent.
Yeah, your registered agent. Who is your registered agent? Oh, I'm my registered agent. She was like, that's not right.
That's not gonna work.
That's not right. And then she was like, well, where do you have bank accounts at? Well, I set up one bank account over here, but it's she was like, well, where's your operation agreement? And I was like, what's that? So when I met Miss Thompson, long story short, my business was fly by night. It was a business on paper with the state of Texas, but that was it. Like if I wanted to go to a bank and get a business account legit, like with everything I needed, if I wanted to get loans for the company, if I wanted to get capital, working capital, anything I wanted to do, I couldn't do because I wasn't operating officially as a business.
Right.
And that's what the chamber did for me. Miss Thompson was like, well, you got your hub. I was like, what's that?
Yeah.
You got your DBE? I was like, what's that? So if you're listening and you don't know what a hub is or you don't know what a DBE is, then you were just like me.
Yeah.
And we're here to help you. Hub is historically underutilized business, and it's a certificate that allows you to bid or do business with people who are looking for minority participation. They have a requirement to have minority participation on their contracts, on their government funded contracts. They have to have a certain percentage of minority participation. So if they have $1 million contract and they have to have 20% minority participation, that means $200,000 of that money has to be given to a minority business, and most of the time it's small business. Any small business is any business that makes less than $4 million a year.
30.
Well, $30 million a year.
It's a crazy
So if you
number.
make less than $30 million a year, you need to you need to have your hub certification. You need to have your DBE. DBE, TxDOT, a lot of the stuff that they do requires DBE.
Yep.
But we'll get back to that. But back to the story of why I joined. My business was not correct, and Ms. Thompson took the time to give me the business information, the resources, and the tools.
Yes.
And the tools to achieve entrepreneur parity.
Yep.
She gave me that, bro. And the mission was not just some words. She actually did everything that the mission statement said. And she didn't send somebody else to do it. She didn't say, hey, I'm finna hook you up with this guy and he gonna do it for you. She did it for me personally. She took her time. That's what I said. She makes sacrifices for the members of this chambers and for this chambers that nobody will ever see, nobody will ever know about unless you take time, unless you were there.
Right.
And I was there to see some of the sacrifices that she's made, and I really I applaud her, and I'm so thankful for Ms. Thompson.
Yes, and that's the reason why I brought it up, because of the fact that your timeline actually would show. Yeah. Actually, you are a very good example as to when you join the right community, what the right community can do for a business, and what you didn't know, she was able to fill the gap for, and then you're able. Now look at you.
Yeah.
Look, you might have just picked up a mentor No, it might come to like Howard.
I tell people all the time, like when we was talking about GMT Radio, what I forgot to add, pick up the phone and have a conversation.
Yes.
It's free to talk to me. It's free to call me. I don't pick up the phone and say, okay, you need to cash out me $50 before we start talking. You got 5 seconds. No, it's free to talk to me. Like if you ring my phone and I answer that phone, the conversation is free. Now I'm not gonna let you keep me on the phone all day, but we can definitely have a conversation about some things, especially if you're trying to do something. I just started a nonprofit with Ms. Thompson. Actually, it's called JAFBUG, the JAFBUG Community Resource Foundation, and we're going to do mentoring. We're going to do mentoring. Hopefully some young people that really have a desire to learn about business and construction. Those are two things that I'm really well versed in is business construction. So,
Well, that's good. So now we know. But for sure, make a phone call. Make sure that you reach out to somebody. But actually, I would strongly encourage anybody to get a mentor.
yeah,
So there is never a time in which having a mentor is problematic unless
Nope.
you have the wrong one.
Yep.
So you have to know that they align. And your mentor has, I say, should be somebody who has already achieved what you are attempting to
Yep.
achieve.
That is
So
exactly
your
right.
mentor is not your neighbor who's living in squalor with you.
Exactly.
You have to, so in order to level up, you have to look up.
Yep.
And when you look up, you will find someone who will be willing and ready to work with you and to kind of guide you through it. So everybody, I believe, should have a mentor of
Yep.
some kind. And they are not forever people. Sometimes our mentors are not meant to take the entire journey with you. They're just
Exactly.
there to help you to get to the next place before you can go on.
And so I'll give you guys some nuggets about mentors. Some people can actually mentor you without ever talking to you.
This is true.
So I'll
Shark
tell
Tank.
you who my mentor, who one of my mentors was and is, because I still respect this man greatly and look up to him. And we've never had a conversation about that. We've talked about other stuff. His name is Harry Smith. Harry Smith is a custom home builder.
Okay.
On one side of the table. On the other side of the table, he has a foundation called the Smith Foundation.
Okay.
Me and Harry have never talked about Harry being my mentor, but when I met Harry, Harry did exactly what I wanted to do. He was where I wanted to be. The things that I want to accomplish in life, I can sit back and say, okay, he's done those things, so I'm going to follow this guy. Whether it's looking at projects that he's working on, whether it's calling him, hey, I just called to check on you, see how you was doing. It's Howard Johnson. And, whether it was, okay, how did you structure this? Okay, well, what businesses do you own? Well, why do you own these businesses? Well, what does your foundation do? And everything that I've done here lately as I've gotten older, I accredit to watching him. Not talking to him, not taking up his
Right.
time, not being in his face, not him taking me and putting me under his wing, saying, here, I'm going to give you some of this money I'm making to do this. No, it was just taking a step back and observing what he did, what he's doing, and what he's done.
Right.
And that allowed me to be more diligent in my company and how I did it and how I structured things. And I mean, it's amazing what you can learn from watching somebody.
This is true. And so, excuse me, as we wrap up, I would say the
It's
mentors.
over already?
It is. How cool is that, man?
Can we get some more time in?
Me and Howard, I don't know. so when we're talking about mentorships and everything, just keep in mind our legacy is what we teach other people that keeps us alive.
Yeah.
So if you find a mentor, Howard,
Yeah.
if you find a mentor and you and we go and you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, I want to do this. They're not going to be your forever people, but
No.
as you're watching them, know that you're watching them and they're willing to allow you to understand what they're doing, but you too will have to do that same thing for someone else. So don't sit there and just like, I gotta hold my secrets to myself, I can't give out my information, I need to stay. Painting yourself in a corner is not the answer.
Yeah.
Giving your stuff out to other people and allowing other people to grow off of your knowledge is your legacy, and I don't think a lot of people know that.
Nope. And that's what I said. I wanted to leave a legacy. I wanted to, I wanted to help other people. So, like I said, me and Harry never had the conversation. I just watched him from afar. And then my brother as well. He's diligent in business, man. That guy he's something else in business. And I sit back and I watch him from afar. They're the owners over at Phil and Derek. So I'm always watching him.
Oh,
always, and he has like multiple businesses. We've
In
never
awe.
talked about him mentoring me. I just sit back and watch him.
We definitely gonna have a conversation, Howard.
And that was a great piece of advice, though. Find somebody who's where you want to be.
Right.
And if they're where you want to be, follow that person, mirror that person. It's a blueprint already out there for the things that you want to do. There are some new businesses that are coming up, but if you have a business that's, that it's other construction companies, it's other banks, it's other beauticians, it's other, all kinds of stuff. Find the one that you say, okay, this is where I want to be next year. This is where I want to be in 5 years, and get you a mirror and do exactly what they did.
Doing. But also know that the people you surround yourself cannot be yes men and yes women. They have to be people who are willing to challenge you on the stuff you're doing.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and rattle off the events again. So we have tomorrow, we have Organic Hub. So we have a meetup at 2721 Chimney Rock Road, Houston, Texas, 77056.
Yep.
We have Region 2, the
October 24th. Region 2 meet and greet at the Holiday Inn in Sugar Land from
3 to 5.
3 to 5, and that will be live broadcast. GMT will be out there doing the broadcast for that. And then we have October 31st.
Brazoria County, and that one's going to be in Pearland. So
1 to 3.
1 to 3. Make sure that you can, I guess if you want to put on makeup, we can go ahead and see that. You can.
November the 14th is the inauguration of Region 4 in it will be in Jasper for Region 4, the Nehemiah Family Life Center, 640 Pollard in Jasper, Texas, from 10:30 to 2 p.m.
Okay.
And then November 21st is Montgomery County meet and greet with Bishop Lloyd Jernigan, and the venue is to be announced on that one still.
That is correct. And also, if anyone is interested in becoming a guest on the podcast, it'll cost you $25 for the banner. And so you can come and hang out with us for a little bit and tell us a little bit about your business.
What you do, about what you do, and where you're from and where you're going and where you've been, and we'll figure out some other stuff.
Howard. Oh my gosh. Okay, give everybody your contact information so we can go.
707 Management LLC, Howard Johnson. My email address is H as in Henry, T as in Tom, J as in Jackal, 707 at yahoo.com. My website is www.707llc.com. Phone number. Let's see.
Which one do you want to give out?
777-9311. If you're not old enough, you won't know that. But it's 281-726-1028.
So bad. We want to go ahead and thank
our sponsors,
Southwest Airlines is a proud air travel sponsor of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. And also Primacore Business Solution. Thank you, Nice, for being nice to us today
Nice
while we hang out at gmtradio.com.
Time went by so fast.
Keep in mind, Howard, download the app. They have an app. Yes. And let me tell you about this app. So you can now watch the live broadcast.
Oh, man,
you can link into Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce from there, and then you can listen to their shows during the day. And it's a pretty cool app. And
they got a bunch of shows and stuff. Yeah. Like Nice said, they doing TV here now.
Yes,
too,
TV.
So, man.
TV's to the left of us, radio to the right.
Radio, TV, commercials, videos, all that stuff. GMTradio.com.
You will not be disappointed.
Nice is not his real name. They call him Nice for a reason.
Yes, it is.
So
yes,
come check
absolutely.
Him out.
So remember, when the right connections matter, connect to the right network. Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. Everyone have a great and glorious day. If you missed this show, head over to tcbcc.org. On Wednesday, the show will be placed there. You can rewatch it or watch it for the first time. An opportunity for you to share with your friends. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you.